What's up, everybody? I recently attended the WIMA-USA rally in scenic Maggie Valley, North Carolina. Nestled in the heart of Maggie Valley is a museum called Wheels Through Time. And it says on their sign, the museum that runs, meaning everything, and I mean everything, runs. If it's on the floor, it works. I got to spend some time with Matt Walksler, son of the founder, Dale Walksler. Matt's now the curator of the museum, and he told me about some really special bikes. In this video, he's going to tell us about a multiple award-winning historic bike, the 1909 Reading Standard Board Track Racer.
Yeah, sure. So this is one of our favorites inside the museum, and common visitor favorite, but of course amongst the staff also one of the bikes we flock to and gravitate to the most. It's a 1909 Reading Standard. So this is a first year factory board track racing motorcycle. Reading Standard was made in Reading, Pennsylvania, and the race bikes of this era, guys, as I'm sure many of you guys know, are ultra rare. Not everybody was into racing, and at the same time, they had a hard life, so a lot of them didn't last. Now this bike, very special story that went with it, and really it's kind of remarkable that it even exists today. So Reading, kind of top of the line brand back in the day. You're talking, Harley, Indian, Excelsior, Reading Standard, and just a few years later Henderson. I mean, those were your best companies producing motorcycles back in their day. This is 1,000 cc, what we call supercharged factory racing motorcycle. First year for board track racing was 1909, and this bike was produced in that year for exactly that purpose. When we say supercharged, it's got these ports in the back of the cylinders here that actually, it's not like forced induction, but it's like a induction in excess of what the little carburetor flows. So you're getting a cold air charge there, which kind of simulates an increased compression and creates more power. Also serves as crankcase pressure relief too. So super free engine, and this bike was making so much more power than the same motorcycles or similar motorcycles of the day. It's just remarkable. No brakes, no clutch, direct drive. When the motor's running, the wheels spinning. This is like a 90-mile-an-hour motorcycle on skinny little 2-inch tires. So absolutely incredible. Now this bike was found in Orville and Wilbur Wright's basement, and in the 1940s. The bike was then donated to the Henry Ford Museum, where they promptly lost the motorcycle for almost 50 years, for 48 years. So from 1944, when they took the bike in, they put it somewhere in their basement, in their archives, and one thing led to another. The bike disappears. And it wasn't until 1992 that they were cleaning house and a curator found a bike, and that's when they decided they probably weren't going to display it. The bike in its day was in this condition.
Oh, wow.
So that was in 1944. There it is, no tires, no paint, 1944. So they find the bike 50 years later, almost in pretty dilapidated condition, decided to sell it, and my dad happened to be the lucky winner. It was sold on a sealed bid, and I think he won the bid by something like, $42 or something.
Oh, wow.
Like that. So 2-year restoration process later, and we have it as it sits today. So the bike was restored in 1997. It's in complete perfect running condition. It's a multiple-time award winner. The bike received first place and best in class at the Pebble Beach show in 2012, I believe, the Pebble Beach concourse. And then just earlier this year, in March, we took it to uh, Amelia Island concourse down in Florida, and it also received best in class. So it's one of the bikes we're most proud of here at the museum. It's an absolute showstopper. It's more like a well-made watch than it is other motorcycles of the area, isn't it?
Yeah, piece of art.
Yeah, the incredible nickel plating, that
Yeah.
like deep blue paint, and form and function combined at its best.
Well, you have a couple of other restorations, and not just one's a restoration and one is a you had on your blog or on your website.
The restoration.
Yes.
Yeah.
You have two bikes, a 39
Yep.
and a 41. One of them is coming soon, and one of them is still in the works.
Sure. So the 39 is all done up, and you might have it's outside. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's
We'll
sitting
go
right
out
out
and check
there
it out.
on the red brick, running perfect. I've been putting a ton of miles on it. I took it to Daytona earlier this year. I've been taking it to the antique bike swap meets that I go to, so I can ride back and forth to the hotel. Been putting on some miles in the mountains. So far, I might have maybe 15 or 1,800 miles on the bike since I finished it in March. It's a 39 knucklehead, which is a 61 inch, 4-speed, 1 kick. Come out, breathe on that kicker, and it fires up. And yeah, it's a ton of fun to ride. Very capable. I was lucky to find the bike in pretty complete condition, but disassembled. Put it all back together, and runs better than it looks because it's all rusty and crusty. So the other bike you were asking about is the 41 FL, and that bike is mid restoration. We got the bike in Savannah in December. Brought it back here. Immediately got to work. Had restored the frame, restored the fork. My pal John took all the sheet metal, made it perfect again, and we painted it up in cruiser green. I'm midway engine rebuild, so the whole short block's done. I've got some heads to finish. Get those heads done, and we can start bolting the rest of the bike together. I think I've already in the back. I got it on the lift, and I've already done the drive line. Fenders. I just got some chrome back. We're trimming out. So one of those ongoing projects. While the museum's open, I love to spend a lot of time here on the floor. So shop time kind of diminishes, and I'm able to work on things kind of piecemeal here and there. So the progress on that bike is slowed a little bit, but I believe it'll be done by November. So our goal when we debut our raffle bike for next year, we're raffling our 37 off November 18th. When we debut the 2024 raffle bike for the next year, for the day that we raffle off this one, hopefully I'll have that 41 out riding around.
Cool. That's really cool. You've had a few groups coming through. I'm with WIMA. I heard that you had the Cannonballers through here recently. Yeah. What would they just come in? Do you give like tours for groups or anything like that?
So the Cannonball guys came through, and it was like a whirlwind. They I think it was the most amount of people we've ever had here at once. I bet we had probably 3,000 or 3,500 people here. It was absolutely awesome. 100 old motorcycles riding cross country, and we hosted the lunch stop for them. So awesome experience. Unfortunately, for most of the riders, they were in and out. Right. They got to come in, get lunch, head to the next leg. As for our visitors, we were firing motorcycles up all day. Myself, Andy, Jake, Chris, we were giving tours, and that's one of the neat things about the museum here is that when you come visit, we run motorcycles every day, all day. We've got 4 guys, sometimes 5 guys down here on the floor, sharing history, telling stories, and showing folks what this sport, this hobby, and this life is all about.
Passion.
Yeah, passion.
Yeah.
And it's so much here. There's 375 motorcycles or so. There's maybe 12 cars, tens of thousands of pieces of memorabilia. But what makes this place is the stories. Every bike's got a story. Every part has a story. Every poster has a story, and that's really the stuff that we love to tell.
Cool. Well, I did see on their website, if you go and you look at their website, they have a lot of videos on there that you can watch, both on their YouTube, their Facebook. You can see little snippets on Instagram. But there was one question on there. People ask about the favorite bike all the time, but nobody asked what's your favorite car or other motorized type of vehicle thing.
You know what? Just like my dad would have said, I feel the same way. My favorite bike's the one I rode last. And that was his standard answer, and I've adopted that because nothing rings more true. You kind of develop a connection with each and every one of these motorcycles. I've been riding that 39 a lot, so I like it a lot. As far as cars go, I just got that 54 Corvette over there last month. I was in Louisville, and I went to go look at a collection of antique motorcycles. I got there, and I wasn't really feeling any of the bikes. And then I came around the corner and I saw that Vet, and it was like, oh my gosh.
Is that the red one?
The red one over there. So we used to have a 56 here that my dad and my brother flew to California and bought and drove it all the way home to North Carolina. Yeah, the pair of them. So that was a real epic trip, and for those two, and that or car always had a real special place here. And my brother's still driving that as we speak. He's out in Arizona, and just felt the need to replace it.
Yeah,
So,
my best friend is a huge Corvette fan. He's a Holden guy.
okay.
So he's in Australia. He's a Holden guy. He's even got it tattooed on his arm, the bogan that he is. And when I saw that, I took pictures and woke him up from his sleep and sent it over to him. So he was up this morning being like, oh, da, 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 you know, sending me all these texts. So really appreciate your time. Thank you so much for
My
sharing this
pleasure.
with us. And I will be back with my husband, who's very jealous that he's not here. So thanks again. Appreciate
Sure
it.
Yeah,
All right.
appreciate you being here and sharing with your
Of
viewers.
course, of course. So thank you so much. I would like to give a big thank you to Matt and all of his staff there at Wheels Through Time. They really rolled out the red carpet for us at WIMA and made us just feel like part of the family. If you're interested in going to see Wheels Through Time and going to see all these really amazing bikes and experience something that you just don't get to experience anymore, bikes from like the early 1900s that run, stop by. Make sure you check their website because the times may change due to the seasons, but their websites list their hours. And you can also go and sign up for their raffle bike, which right now is a 1937 Harley Knucklehead. You can go and buy anything from 1 to 250 raffle tickets. They are drawing the raffle soon to a live audience, so please go and check that out, at which time they're going to be debuting their next raffle bike. And we have a little hint on that. If you stay tuned here, you subscribe, you'll be able to get a little hint on that. Not a full reveal, but there will be some videos showing some hints as to what the next year's bike's going to be. Thanks, guys, for watching. And I'd ask if you'd please hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, stay tuned for the next video, and thanks again for joining me.